Hey everyone, let's make some fruit roll-ups. I'm going to share with you a couple different recipes. We're going to use some frozen fruit, some frozen and fresh fruit. We're going to use some canned fruit. And so let's go ahead and get started. So this first one, we're doing some bananas and strawberries. Such a great blend. And after I mixed those up, I decided I wanted to put some apples in there just to help with the final texture of the fruit roll-ups. And we blended those up. And once those were blended up well, I've added in some sugar and some lemon juice. And you really add that in to taste for the most part. But on your lemon juice, it helps to retain the fresh color to the fruit roll-up and that tartness. If you want it to taste like the stuff that you buy at the store, you want it tart. So add that lemon juice in there and then it's going to be perfect. Now, before I show you pouring this, let's move on to some other options here. Watermelon. I know it's like a super watery fruit, but you can blend that up. And to this, I'm going to add in a bunch of apple. And it doesn't downplay the watermelon flavor, but it does, again, help provide some texture and some structure to the final fruit roll-up so it peels up off of that paper nicely. And to this, go fill up your blender. Like, that's what you want to do. So after I blended that up, I'm like, I'm going to put some more in here. And I thought, let's go with maybe some strawberries too. So I went ahead and I added some strawberries in there and just got a full blender there because I thought that would taste really good too. And it did, by the way. It was really tasty. So once that was blended up, the typical amount of sugar to lemon juice that I go with is going to be somewhere between half of a quarter of a cup to a quarter of a cup of sugar, and then also like a quarter cup of lemon juice. So moving on, now we're going to try some canned fruit. So I've got here a can of crushed pineapple and also some frozen cranberries. And we're going to blend those up. I mean, frozen fruits are fine. It doesn't matter if it's cold. I mean, it's almost like you're making a smoothie. You're making a smoothie and then you're going to dehydrate it. That's what your fruit roll-up is. And I think once I tell everybody that, you kind of get the whole gist of it, that this is not hard. Anyone can do this. And I'm giving you some flavor options that I have tried. But again, you can mix up your own flavors with whatever you want to do. And sometimes you can get really creative. And for example, I thought, okay, let's show everybody a healthier version. I don't know, healthier. Well, it's all healthy, but I used a can of sliced pears and I added in a tablespoon of nettle. Almost wished I would have added less because now I only let the babies have like one a day because it's got the nettle in there and it's, nature's multivitamin and all, but I also used honey instead of sugar just to show you that you can use that as an option as well. And went ahead and added that in there and blended it up. And let's see, what else did I decide to put in here? I don't know if I showed you, but I put plums in there too and a little bit of apple. I think I left that out. All right, so now we're moving on to pouring it. You pour it, you can use your spatula and spread it out.
All right, so I had enough to do 5 trays. Just poured it in the middle on top of parchment paper, and then it spreads out by itself. If you're doing thicker fruits, you could get, a spatula and kind of push it around. I didn't really have to with this because it is so thin. This was the last of it, so that's a little one right there. Now, I'm going to set my timer on my dehydrator to 8 hours and hit start. And I'll show you what it looks like when these are done.
All right, so here you see all of the trays, and I could have totally used a spatula and gotten a lot more space for those. I would suggest doing that in the future, but they turned out great. You just kind of give them the touch test every now and then, make sure.
All right, so now what you see here is I have cut the excess paper off. And looking at how these did, I probably could have put a little bit more of the watermelon strawberry mixture on there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start cutting these in strips. I've seen people roll these up and then you just cut them I guess once it's easier. You don't have to go this far. But let me tell you, when you do that and you try to cut those, man, I don't know. Maybe my scissors aren't that great, but it is a huge pain. So once these are all cut up, I'll be able to roll these up for the babies. And ones that are oddball like this, I'll just leave them. Like, I'm sure Mountain Grandpa would love to have this himself. So you just roll them up. And then if you want, you can seal them up with tape or what have you. And then I put all these in a baggie. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with the rest of these. All right, so what you see here is about 25 fruit roll-ups. I went ahead and trimmed them all. Now I'm just going to go ahead. I'll continue to roll these all up and I'll put them in a bag. So think about that, 25 of these. And remember, what you're seeing is, gosh, I don't know, probably 4 cups of watermelon, 2 whole apples, about 2 cups of strawberries, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of sugar, and that's it. So think about all the fruit that is in what you're seeing right here. So what I like about these is when my family is munching on them, I know that at least they're getting some of, like, you know, their nutritional daily value for fruit for that day. And I'm going to show you what just happened here. This one got overcooked a little bit. Still good though. Oh, I'll have to eat that one. So keep an eye on them. Make sure that you don't overcook them. Some of your trays in your dehydrator might get cooked, you know, quicker than others. I set mine to 135 degrees. I put it on 8 hours initially. And I had to keep going back and adding 2 hours and adding 2 hours. And I even pulled some of these out so that they wouldn't get overcooked. So some trays cook quicker than other trays. So just keep an eye on it. But this is such a great snack and so easy. I've done this with blackberries and pineapples and mixtures of it. I've done it with pineapples and peaches, is amazing. That's really a favorite of ours. Pineapples and banana is good. If you're going to do anything with blackberries or raspberries, make sure you add an apple in there. Sometimes it gets to where they're really hard to peel off of the paper with some of those fruits. So that's what the apple helps to do. And you can see for this one, if you go to peel it, see how nicely that comes off of there? Just like a fruit roll-up. And it's good. Yep. All right, that's it, everybody. I hope you'll try this and do it with whatever fruits you have. I feel like the magic thing is sugar to taste, because some fruits are sweeter than others, and always go with about 1/4 cup of lemon juice. It helps prevent discoloration in your fruit. And then also it gives it a nice little tart snap to it. And that tart snap is awesome. So thanks for watching, everyone, and hope you have a great rest of your week. Remember, everybody, keep your joy, and I'll see you on the next one.